Look at the person next to you. Say namaste and I bow to you. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
How we doing out there? Welcome one and all. Those of us in the packed room here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, and those of you joining us online, if this is your first time joining us, welcome, 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 as someone else online says. So let's just take a moment to just check in with each other and to allow ourselves to get squared away up here. And Mike is going to move the Facebook around up here. And we're just going to start by taking a deep conscious breath and allowing ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. That fundamental to this truth is a unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as our assistant minister, Reverend Nancy Woods, lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives and for the space that we hold for them here at our center. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this this flame with faith. We find this light within our own soul. There is one flame, one light within.
And as we recognize this flame, we know it's the flame of faith in God that's blessing each and every person. So this morning, we are grateful for the opportunity to know and to understand that this spiritual presence, that is the essence of everything that's in existence, is guiding and directing everything that is unfolding and taking place here and now. As we share this time together this morning, we share it with the love that's in our hearts to know and understand that each and every one of us in this universal presence, animals and the earth included, is this divine presence saying yes to life. And we say yes to life today. We embrace the idea that that infinite intelligence is guiding and directing us, caring for us, nurturing us. And as we know this, and we embrace this idea, we feel the oneness of the universe, one with all things, and know that our world that we are experiencing is a blessing for all of us to experience. So we take this moment, we take this idea, we take this understanding into our hearts and allow it to flow forth as the united love for all things. For this I know is the truth of our being. And I welcome each person out there to know and to understand the oneness of life and feel surrounded and supported and nurtured by the love that is everywhere present, and allow it to flow through them into the whole experience of being. For this and all that takes place this morning, I say thank you. And welcome each one of you to join me in knowing this truth and say together, and so it is, and amen. This morning, I wanted to share the ideas, I say, about oneness, the unity of our life, and how everything around us is a part of what we are experiencing and part of our consciousness. So it is with this idea in mind that I had to really dwell on the idea that oneness of life is part of this whole experience that I'm going through. And it's kind of interesting. I'm thinking I'm oneness with life. I'm in the house by myself. And I'm saying, okay, I'm one with everything. And what came up for me was the appreciation for everyone. Not just my friends and relatives, but for everyone, everything that exists, and how existence itself is a gift to me. That which brings forth my joy of being alive is the world itself and how it's unfolding and developing. and to understand that each and everything that is in existence is out of this oneness of the universe. So it is so rich to understand and to know that not only oneness, I think it's easier to sit there and think about the birds when I'm sitting on my terrace and watching them fly, or think about the trees when I look out at them all budding out and turning green. The earth itself is a beauty to behold. But also, I started thinking about how we are, when people say we are in this together, we are in this world together at all times. And whatever we are experiencing, there is a unity in it. Not so much, and you don't have to be like me, and I don't have to be like you. I can experience my own uniqueness in my own home and still feel a part of everything that's going on. I feel a part of the trees, even though they're standing out there in the yard. So that means that no matter where you are in the world, we are all one divine expression of life. And to know that there are these laws and ways in which the spiritual presence of life has gifted us with, in which we are able to see this oneness in different ways and in different expressions. That's a gift. The differences is a gift. It's more entertaining than having all one. Now I understand what Emerson was trying to tell us. Our own individual uniqueness is our gift. And I'm welcoming the opportunity to not only know that where I sit in my living room, but I'm able to know that throughout the universe, throughout everything that is in existence. And there's this law of attraction that's bringing to me that which I need to experience for the current moment. So that means it brought me here in this time and this moment. And knowing that this is true, I am expressing my gratitude as I say thank you for allowing me to share these understanding and awareness that I am experiencing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Such is the way of the world, you can never know just where to put all your faith and how will it grow. I'm gonna rise up, burn black holes and dark memories. I'm gonna rise up, turn my mistakes into gold, and just let it go. Yeah. Such is the passage of time, it's too fast to fall. When you're suddenly swallowed by signs, lo and behold, I'm gonna rise up, find my direction magnetically. I'm gonna rise up, throw down my ace in the hole, and just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. which is the way of the world, you can never know. Just where to put all your faith, and how will it grow? I'm gonna rise up and burn black holes in dark memories. I'm gonna rise up, turn my mistakes into gold. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Thank you.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I think it's amazing how we match up with our songs and our message.
Oh, good.
So good, so good, so wonderful. Oh, okay, so would you say the declarations of principles with us? We believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that faith operates upon a law of mind which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life, in the mortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the giveness of life to all.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world.
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world.
And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world.
You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world.
And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and and we shine so bright.
Oh, I got up without me notes. All right, and Mike, you're going to get us squared away up here, right? Michael Carlin? Yes. So I just want to say welcome again to any first-time visitors, whether you're joining us on our YouTube channel or on Facebook Live. In particular, I'd like to welcome any of my cousins and relatives from across the pond who may be joining us today, or any friends around the country. So today, we honor the idea that we are all love streamers. And so I'm glad that you are safe at home while we present to you what we can all experience as the life of the Spirit online until we can all come together physically. So today's talk title is about bright beginnings. Bright beginnings, and they sent us out this little slide here that I thought I would share with you because I thought it was kind of nice. Let go of all that is personal and selfish and come into the larger love, the love universal, where all are one human family. And so for our theme, this being April now, we're starting a new theme. This theme for the entire month will be around bright beginnings. And so we start with this idea of taking responsibility for self, community, and the world. Now, of course, this was all set up before our current health demonstration that's going on. But you can see how that kind of will work. Although I don't know if I actually spoke to that today, so let's find out. So because this week is also... in fact, this Sunday, or this Wednesday evening, in fact, at sundown begins Passover, which means that Easter is somewhere close behind, which in fact will be next Sunday, and this being in the Christian tradition, Palm Sunday. But I wanted to speak to Passover this morning, and particularly to Passover remembrance, for Passover actually anchors two key and pivotal moments in both Jewish and Christian traditions. And there's also in Islam, there's also a remembrance of Passover, at least as a day of fasting, and I have to learn more about that, but I was interested to find that out. For all of these same people have sprung from the same root. And that root, of course, is Abraham. Now, for all peoples in this tradition, it is a time of deliverance, of emancipation, of being set free. And the Passover story is a wonderful metaphor for the many challenges of life for all peoples, including modern people. Now, the teacher Neville Goddard often spoke of the Hebrew Bible and offered many thought-provoking ideas and metaphysical interpretations of the Bible. And I know Reverend Nancy and our practitioner Sherry Gideons are big fans of his. And so in his lecture, I'm pulling heavily out of his lecture entitled My Forever Name. And you can find this on freeneville.com. And it speaks to the inherent power of I am. The inherent power of I am. So Neville writes, if you find this name or believe in it really, there is nothing impossible to you if you really believe in it. That Moses said to God, if I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they ask, well, what's his name? What's your name? What's your name? I guess they were saying. And so what shall I say? And the Lord said, I am who I am. I am who I am. Sometimes it's translated as I am what I am, or I am that I am, but any form of the verb to be. I am who I am. Then he said, say this to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. I am has sent me to you, the Lord God, the God of your father Abraham and Isaac and of Jacob, has sent me unto you. This is my name forever. And by this shall I be known throughout all generations. I am that I am. Now, for students of New Thought, as this is what this teaching is that we are presenting here today, for students of New Thought, these passages from the book of Exodus should catch our attention. For one of the first things that we learn in this new order of thinking is how to speak about ourselves. And how when we use the word I am, that there is power in it. And so it's very important what follows that I am. So for instance, we don't want to say things like I am stupid or I am anything derogatory. Even in jest, that we become aware of our languaging about our life. Not in some silly, fearful, or superstitious way, but rather with a commitment to cultivate and build a consciousness of alignment with the I am that I am, which has all power, is everywhere present, knows all, and is always active. That this I am presence is not bound by space or time. It is the Alpha and the Omega, and a great place to start bright beginnings. And being omnipresent, which means to be everywhere present, also means that it's right where you are, right where you and I stand. The I am that I am dwells. Right? It was there in Moses and the Pharaoh, in Caiaphas and Jesus, in all peoples throughout all of time. In fact, in everything, all sentient beings, and through all of matter from day one and extending into the infinite future. In all peoples, in all of time. So the task then for you and for me then is to uncover it, to embrace it, and to make this power welcome in all areas of our life. Now, this is sometimes easier said than done, especially when we are working through a life or death challenge, or at least what we perceive as a life or death challenge. Say like a plague. Say like a modern times plague, like COVID-19. Right? So we need to remember that fear has never healed anything. Not one thing. Fear can be a catalyst for change. It can drive us into changing our behavior. Right? But ultimately, what keeps us strong and builds our immune system is to be free of fear and instead to step into faith, into the faith of the I am that is dwelling within me and within all people. So, let's face it, we got this challenge and it's right in our face, and this pathogen known as the coronavirus is really just part of the issue because so many of us now are staying at home and it's affecting our financial security or insecurity. It's affecting the way that we view our health in ways that are either fearful or faith-filled. That it's affecting maybe even our relationships in ways that are good. So if you haven't been watching Dinner with the Gaffigans, Jim Gaffigan and his family, they're in lockdown in New York. He's got 5 kids under 15, I would say. And anyway, it's very charming. But they are kind of talking about the challenges of all being cooped up. Right now, they have a real kind of a wonderful first world life, but it's still the same stuff. So we have this challenge and the associated challenge that are going with it. And we also have this story within the Passover story, a wonderful story of Moses and the Hebrews, which really is our story. For Moses saw himself as imperfect in the eyes of the Lord. And until we really embrace this idea that we are an emanation of the I am, that we too see ourselves as imperfect in some way. Or that we're all in some areas, and in some areas of our life we could use a little more work. So this is our story. And Moses, if you recall, Moses was a renegade. Found floating in a basket on the Nile and found by a member of Pharaoh's court. Moses was raised in opulence, in abundance, and as royalty. And in a rage, killed an Egyptian overseer and had to flee to the desert, where he was to go on to become a goat herd or a shepherd. So Moses was a wanted man, and a wanted man with a past. Now we may not be wanted by the law, or at least not anymore, but we all have a past. We all have a past. We all have a past that we either embrace or judge ourselves, and if we're like most people, it's a mixed bag. All of us have a past that we bring with us. A past like the ancient Hebrews of old may be keeping us held, enslaved, and held bound from true emancipation and freedom. That may be keeping us from experiencing the sweet spot of life, even now, right as we are, within the conditions of our life, the way they are presenting themselves to us right now. And possibly, in moving in and out of fear, at times maybe we feel ourselves unworthy to commune with the Almighty. So Moses, knowing what he knows about himself, a man with a stammer, right? So he had a stutter and a checkered past. This is the man I am that I am, chose to set his people free. Moses speaks for us in the face of the living God itself, questioning, why me? You want me to do what? Now, remember, Moses had a burning bush experience. He heard the actual voice of God, giving clear direction, I might add. There's no way to second guess what he was saying. He should have no problem stepping into this divine task, right? And yet, even still, he's questioning all the way through this narrative the living God about what he's supposed to be doing in Pharaoh's court. I mean, you talk about chutzpah. Moses had chutzpah before there even was chutzpah, before there was even Yiddish for that matter. Now, Moses knew it wasn't going to be easy, because the I am even told Moses that he was going to harden Pharaoh's heart against him, that this was going to be a tough sell. And it took 9 really gnarly plagues that came before the final one, and still no freedom. I mean, rivers of blood and frogs and locusts and all this stuff, until finally, the last plague, which was the death of the firstborn. throughout all of Egypt. And if a firstborn son, and if they didn't have a son, then they were to, then it would be their best cow, which is kind of a gnarly thing about, yeah. So anyway, I'll let you guys put those 2 points together. But the idea that taking the death of the firstborn sons, unless, and how you stepped into this idea that you were one of the chosen, was to paint the top of the doorway with lamb's blood so that the Lord passed over that house. Now finally, what happens then after that, of course, the Pharaoh gets it and not only sets him free, but he also, take whatever you want. Take whatever you want, just get out of here. And haven't we all been in that situation in life? Yeah, just take it, go. Now Neville says about this idea of playing with the I am. Right? So now Moses then, of course, takes the ancient Hebrews and they go off into the desert for some 40 years. And a lot of stuff happens within that too. So all of this is coming out of the first chapter in Exodus. You might want to take it out and check it out yourself this week. But what he's really getting at is how we can step into the power of this I am idea. I am that I am, impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as all of life. So Neville goes on to say, if you read the book of Exodus, you will find that this is sheer power, completely unmodified by any justice, any love, no mercy, no pity, no peace, sheer power. So Moses stands in the presence of power. And that's the first revelation of God, that it is I am. And he says, goes on to say this, and I say and remind myself and you at the same time, that when we believe it, that is how we use it. That our first use of its sheer power, unmodified by mercy in this world, just pure, unadulterated power. And so in this same book of Exodus, Moses is told to go to Pharaoh and to tell Pharaoh to let his children go free. And then it's said that it's in the text that he hardens the heart of the Pharaoh. Therefore, so Neville being an actor, he points out that the I am is playing all the parts. He's in the Pharaoh, he's in Moses, he's in this situation, he's in all the Hebrews, all the Egyptians, all of life expressing at that time. He's playing all the parts. He sends his servant Moses to tell Pharaoh to let the children of Israel go free. And then he hardens the heart of the Pharaoh. So he goes on to say and to ask, who is playing all the parts? Since Jehovah, which is I am, is the primary actor in every event. If we adopt this name of God, this is what can happen for us. If we really believe it and adopt it, then we too can step into a life that has power, that has presence within it, that allows us to access the highest aspects of what it means to be a human life expressing as divine life. All intelligence, creativity, radiant good health, the infinite heart of the divine itself available to us every time we choose to engage, to cultivate, and to find ways to bring that into our life. When we adopt the name of God, the God of Israel, and actually believe in the God of Israel, which is I am, and know it plays all parts, then we really cannot be distracted by anything that can move us off of this truth. Now, Holmes said it a little bit differently, that he encouraged us to imagine I have no idea if this is where I am. Yeah, okay. So he imagined us, or he encouraged us to imagine, to suppose that there were at the center of each one of us a clear channel to the infinite, which is forever pouring out through us in a unique way, because it never does two things alike, nor does it ever repeat itself. Now, people who first come to this teaching aren't used to seeing or thinking of the divine in this way. But when we do, we come to see that the I am that I am, impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as all of creation, and knowing our oneness with it, a oneness that is so awe-inspiring and yet humbling at the same time, that has all power, that is presence itself, that has within it the infinite heart that is free of judgment, of recrimination, of resentment, of anything, any shadow aspect of life, where there's only the light of the divine expressing. That burning bush that only illuminates and does not destroy. That when we live our life from this place, there's no way, there's nothing that can stand in our way. That there is no dis-ease that can get a hold of us. That we can stay strong and confidently knowing that we are breathing in the breath of life that is immunizing us against anything unlike the light of Spirit. Whether it's a tiny little virus or a virus in our brain of old thinking that we keep returning to that no longer serves us. All of it is healed. So, let's find ways this week to make this I am presence more present in our life. Let us release any sense of fear, struggle, or even impending sense of doom that constantly negative news wants us to believe in. And instead, to know that as the I am Spirit resides within you and within me, any thought forms other than that which the good that God is passes over us as machinations of errant thinking, and instead we step into ways of knowing that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, that we step confidently into life knowing all our needs are met and then some. So now Ken will take us in, Jason will take us into a song.
You unravel me with your melody. You surround me with your song of deliverance from my ignorance, till all my fears have gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm a child of God. From our mother's womb, we are born unto this world you gave to us. treasure to be found if we go within. Your life flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. We are the sons and daughters. Let us sing our freedom. Let us sing our song.
Recognizing and knowing that the I am that I am is now present, right where we sit, right where we stand. That we connect with the indwelling presence of the divine itself. And in this knowing of our unification with the divine, that we are expressing now our deepest and most closely held desires and intentions for radiant good health. That we know that that this pattern of perfection is the indwelling I am within me, invigorating every molecule, every cell, every muscle, every organ, every bone, every neuron, every aspect of our being. Our respiratory system is taking in the living spirit of the divine and allowing it to coalesce with our body temple to produce an immunity that allows us to walk confidently even as we practice a consciousness of good public health in all of its forms. That we allow ourselves to be we open up to a cosmic download for new and creative ideas that infuse us with solutions to any challenge that may be presenting itself to us today. That we are opening our heart and allowing the infinite love that the Spirit is to express itself in, through, and as all of our relationships, whether on business, in our homes, or online. That we are experiencing the oneness of the I am in every aspect of life. And knowing this lifts our heart and lifts our souls to the highest ways of being grateful, of being thankful, that we count our blessings. And even as we know from this place of gratitude that we are so grateful for all of those who continue to serve us in our hospitals, in our banks, in our stores, in all of the ways that we are being serviced by the divine in all ways of life, that we step away from our self-absorbed aspect of this life before now and realize and recognize the I am that I am is alive and well in all of life, and we rejoice in it. And so it is.
Sing a song, 'cause I'm no longer a slave to fear. God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. Thank you.
Yes, we are children of the Most High. So maybe we should start acting like it, right? Yeah. All right. So we do have a way for you to join us in the offering if you're watching online. I'm just going to run through that, and then Ken and Jason will take us through our offertory song. So let me get my little pointer out here. So if you go to our website, which is cslgh.org, you can find our PayPal button, which says donate right here. And when you press that button, you're going to see this graphic will come up, and you'll put in this amount. So use as many zeros as you dare to. And then you can either donate through PayPal. If you have a PayPal account, most of us don't, you can donate with a debit or a credit card. And then it will actually tell you if you have a little memo in there. So let's say you might want to support the musicians with an extra gift. You could do that, and I know they would appreciate that, and we'll get it to them. If you're using your phone, you can, it's going to look like this. It too will show this donate button, and this will take you to the screen. You can donate with your debit or credit card or your PayPal account. And many of you have been very faithful in your mail-in donations, which are very much appreciated, taking a little longer to process, I might add, because of our social distancing. And of course, the other thing that you can do is through your own bank is to use online banking and simply put in CSL GH into the payee line, and we'll get to that. They'll send it to us as well, either electronically or sometimes they send an electronic check. So there's several ways to go, and while you do that, Ken and Jason will take us into our offertory song.
4. Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. The Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us.
Okay, so going with them for just a moment longer, with this basket as a representation of our gifts this morning, recognizing and knowing that all the gifts provided to our center, whether through online giving or however they make their way here, that all of it is a demonstration of consciousness that knows and knows that it knows that God is our source, our substance, our supply. And so through this generous heart of the individual evidenced by these gifts, we representing the heart of this spiritual community, know that these gifts, we know together these gifts go forward to heal, to prosper, and to bless not only the vision and mission of this center and ministry, but now also our online ministry. But every intention for all of anybody connected to this center in any way, that we extend this blessing and these glad tidings to our friends in our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them online and the people who are teaching them online, that we know for our planet as well that all of it is an emanation of the I am that I am in expression. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see it demonstrating in ways great and small. This lifts our hearts. We feel a deep sense of grace and blessing as we not only shift and lift the tendency of our own thought to higher forms of thinking, but we take those around us with us. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is, amen. So we're going to scroll the announcements when we're finished here. And I'm going to invite Reverend Nancy to come on up. And Ken and Jason, I just want to take a moment to thank Ken and Jason for their gift of music today. So you can do this if you're online, whatever. And then I'd also like to thank Evan Lindley and Michael Carlin, of course, because we could not do this literally. We could do it by ourselves, I suppose, but no one else would know. And of course, I want to thank all of you who are willing to step into this weird idea of technology as spiritual practice. So stay with us. Stay with your practice. You can reach us online either through Facebook, Rev Mike at cslgh.org. You know how to get a hold of us. Don't be bashful. And let's thank Reverend Nancy as well, our assistant minister, and she's going to pray us out.
And I welcome each and every opportunity for us to reach within and recognize that I am. That I am the voice of the universe in expression. I am the love of the universe. I am the peace of the universe. I am God in expression. And as we recognize the truth that this divine presence has given us an opportunity to understand and appreciate life even more by waking us to a greater appreciation of who and what we are. And know that the blessings that have come through the music and the words that we have shared here today are ones in which we are able to just embrace the love and acceptance that we are supported and nurtured by Spirit at all times. And that we are free from our historical belief in the fear of the past. And we can step into the wonders and the joy and the beauty of being loving expressions of the divine, and rejoice with the opportunity to step through any experience, knowing that this love is providing for us, nurturing us, and providing us with the strength and energy to deal with anything that comes before us. We are the love of the universe. We are the divine saying yes to life. So with this understanding and this awareness, we say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we are united in knowing this, that our heart is filled with gratitude. As we say together, and so it is.
So join us at home in the peace song.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let
be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. As God has the power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Peace and blessings. Go out and make it a great week, huh? We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye now.